Funds report.
Don't you have it?
And just chime in as we go through. Any questions? Holler. General fund, you'll see is about 17.8 million, so it's down the way it should be. Economic development, the 1112 is hanging in there. Community correction, 1122, the projects fund is bleeding off, but not badly. And then 1135 and 38, the two CUM funds, the bridge and CUM capital. You see CUM capital is not really a CUM fund. 1159, the health fund is good. Health, First Indiana, which is the second thing they get that's been cut a little bit, is looking pretty healthy.
Hey, Jim, can I ask a question? I'm sorry. Yeah. Going back to 1149, the 5% economic development fee, it's zeroed across. Does that come to a?
It's because the auditor hasn't dispersed it, and as soon as she disperses it, he takes it.
Yeah.
So it always looks like a zero because
Okay.
they come and go so quickly.
Okay, thank you.
In and out.
Yeah.
The 1170 lit public safety is looking good, and rainy day at the bottom, 1186, we haven't done anything with, so it's the way it's been. Second page, 1213, we watch CASA, they're plus. 1222 is the fee part of E911. And you see that's being drained. 1233 and 34 are the two jail lit funds. One, the capital, will be taking that down with the building of this maintenance and storage building. Lit PSAP is the other part of 911. And that actually is increasing because we took 2 basis points from the library and plugged it in there. 2501 drug court is positive. Page 3, 2509 is the behavioral court, it's positive. And then 4616 is the big TIF area, and 4623 is a 2021 GO bond that still has a pretty healthy balance in it. And then the two TIF areas, 4624 is the other big TIF area, which is building up.
Can I ask a question? On the GO bonds, the 2021, you guys, the commissioners, you guys kind of have something earmarked already?
2021, yes, that's the rehab for the community corrections. Okay. And we're still working with that, so.
And then 4633 is the 2023 GO bond proceeds. It's pretty well drained. And then the two smaller TIF areas, well, 3 TIF areas, and the GDI, I'd remind you, is GDI built a road. We gave them a, what do you call it, developer bond. So they're paying off what they invested in that road with TIF money. And 4638 is a 2025 GO bond. Excuse me, page 4. 4700 is our self-insurance. 4913, the perennial jury pay fund, is healthy for a while. And nothing else on that page. Page 5. 7201 is food and beverage. Looks good. And the last page, the CARES Act and the ARPA The CARES Act, that's the health department. Still has a lot of money in it. ARPA, we're down to 17,000, but that will go to zero, right?
Yes.
All right.
Real quick, and Kent brought this up last month, the food and beverage balance, is there anything pending payment out of that that's been approved?
There was. Checking.
Yeah, take your time.
I think there is.
You can take your time. We can circle back on it too. It's just.
The only thing big I could think of would be the 500,000 for the Ag Association, but that surely has been paid.
That, yes, that was already paid. It looks like, let's see, the things that are earmarked, of course, and you were looking at the cash balance. The budget balance is a little different. There's 250,000 earmarked for probation to help keep them afloat, and they have been using a small portion of that. The 500,000 for the Ag Association has already been paid.
What about senior services? I thought last year we took some senior services out of food.
We did, but they have their own fund this year.
Okay.
And we just put some cash in there. But no, there's really not. There's quite a bit of money still just sitting here for us to use for an emergency or a one-time expense.
Well, I paid $27 for 2 meals for my grandchildren at Culver's. Oh my gosh.
What, reimbursed?
Well, it's like, I mean, that fund's gonna be millions. I couldn't believe, for a couple chicken sandwiches and some fries.
Contributing.
He's,
Oh, unbelievable.
so we have, call it 1.8 at least working balance there.
We do. Now,
It's
there
outrageous.
is 639,000 in our miscellaneous line. So if there's an expense that comes up, we do not need to advertise
Okay.
to appropriate it. We have that much appropriated that we can use
And
for any
not
emergencies
to
or
beat
one
a dead
time.
horse, but because we're self-insured on both sides, it'd probably be a good idea to just kind of keep an eye closely on those balances for claims, just to make sure, we have a $930,000 stop loss on the liability. Make sure that if something terrible would happen, that
If I can chime in too, with EO, I think what we're going to see is that we are maxed out with the project. So I had been talking over the last meeting or two, we may have to fund the ag needs from a different fund. And food and beverage would have to be the one more than likely, but that's up to you, you all. But there's a lack of funding there. Okay, so FYI. Mary, what was the 46 that came out of the self-insurance liability?
That's what we
That
have.
was, I was thinking more of a safety net.
That, yeah.
Oh, no, those are all of the claims that we pay up to, what, 25,000, Deb, is that right?
for the, for the.
No, it's for liability.
For
So yeah,
liability.
any of our medical, no, well, not medical, but any of our liability
Liability.
claims get paid from that line.
Here's our self-insurance reserve.
Oh, you're talking about 5901
Yeah,
and 5902?
5901.
Gotcha.
We have 400 and some $1,000 there, and actually, I think, off the top of my head, I think last year, or year-to-date, it's been like 100,000 or less.
No, I guess I'm asking something different. I thought we had a self-insurance liability reserve fund.
Oh, no, we do not have a reserve fund.
I thought we did too, but that never came to fruition.
Okay.
I thought, because we have our health
Yeah.
insurance and our health insurance of emergency fund, and we should have our self-insurance on liability, casualty, property, and all that, and then
Another one.
Another one.
Okay, I thought about it so much that I thought it was reality.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay.
I'm right there with you.
We talked about it, but we apparently never did it.
Yeah,
I thought we
it
did
was
too.
talked about.
Never showed up.
If we were gonna
Something we
start
could do.
one, would we fund that out of general fund?
That'd be about the only place. So why don't we put it down as a topic for next time? I
Okay.
don't want to cuss and discuss it today
Yeah.
because we're not really, and we're hoping to get some information on supplemental lit here real soon, next week. So let's put it on the agenda because, I was overly convinced we had it.
I was
And
right there
thought
with
that
you.
was it.
Yeah, nope, I was right there with you.
Do you think if our balance in this is 500, that another 500 in the reserve would be adequate? Or if the stop loss is 930, is that what the reserve should be?
No, I thought we were going with a self-insurance reserve liability of 500.
Okay,
I thought that's what we were
Yeah.
trying to get to.
And if we can maintain that type of balance every year, our stop loss is gonna go up every year, and it might be $1.1 million for 2020. I think I told Jim, 2027. But we've worked out, our premiums went up a little, not bad, so.
Okay, that clears that up. Thank you, because I thought, why are we spending out of the reserve?
And I did skip the 5901 and 5902. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
5901 is the health claims fund, and that looks good. And then the reserve fund has $1 million in it, so from the health claim.
Jim, can I make a comment about the general fund? I've had a lot of people ask me questions about they think we have too much money in the general fund. And we don't spend the general fund down because we never know what's going to be coming down the road. And I was reading Greg's Sustainability Revenue and Spending Plan. And I noticed that the ending balance with the spend down this year is pretty much 23.5. But in 29, it will be almost half. And that's why, we have to be prepared for these things. Because we all went through one thing one time that we didn't really have Greg and we weren't prepared. And that's pretty ugly. So that's why we don't spend general fund all the way down. People want to know why you have so much in there. Well, some of it's a safety net. And we're going to have to use it.
It can disappear real quickly, can it?
Oh, it can.
Well, when we get to the GO, I'm going to give you a little write-up from S&P that they released last week, which says, get ready.
Was it just related to us?
No.
Just in general?
Indiana.
Okay.
Indiana, specific.
It's going to be hard to get a
While
bond.
you're there, let's
Yes.
go over the regional sewer fund.
That's why I stayed there.
Just-
So here's what we're going to do, Jim.
Well,
We have to,
Let me explain.
Okay.
Just so we're all tuned in, this regional sewer fund, these are monies coming from our investment in the 200 West sewer system. We set that up so that we get some of the, it's not the monthly cost that people pay, it's the houses that get hooked up in that case, I believe.
connection fees.
Right.
Connection fee.
Now, when we go to the North 9 sewer system, there we're intending to have like a $2 or $3 fee on the monthly bill for the people using it, and that would go into this fund. And the purpose of the fund is to eventually build up enough money that we can then go to Charlottesville and build a system for them.
Well, and I think that question. So they're just going to add a $3 fee, $2 to $3 fee every month until those residents' connection fees are taken care of, correct? Is that it?
I think Nine Star was gonna
No,
That's above that, isn't it?
it's just a fee, what would you call a fee?
Impact fee
Impact
or?
fee.
So just call it a surcharge, because we're trying to, a capital surcharge, because we're trying to recover the amount that we're investing
Does it have
into
a
it.
sunset date, though, or is it just run until all the money's returned?
In Hendricks County, we've run it for 20 years. So, yeah.
They'll get used to it, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
There's $15 million investment, I think, has to be made. Isn't that what we're talking about?
19 to
20, we're going to hear once, if we get.
So,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a longer time than we're gonna be alive to.
Some of us for sure.
Well, in addition to the regional fund, in order to get something for Charlottesville, the North 9 area is all TIFed. So the TIF money can then also be, as that, into that TIF, then that TIF money could be used in addition to the regional sewer fund to get to Charlottesville. So hopefully it won't take that long.
I think it's also worth mentioning that when we invested the ARPA money on 2 West, we were firm that we didn't want to make anyone who's already there hook up or have to take it on. And so they had the option to waive it. And so that would only be on new development off of that
There's
system.
new houses being built right now,
On 200?
Yeah, they're building, yeah.
across the street from plus the existing addition that sits right next to the treatment plant. Probably 50 new houses in the last.
And on the North 9 project, I believe the investment money we're talking about includes the hookup for the people. So there'll be so commissioners, you can demand that people hook up because we'll be paying for it. So there's no reason for people not to hook up.
And that's all included in that, what, $20
That's the
million?
plan so far, unless the state kicks it out or something. So, yeah, keep in mind, I would call this a schematic design, until someone says no. It was actually creating the lateral.
You don't allow the ones that are out there that are existing, once they do connect, to keep their wells, like to do outside watering and things, or are they making them tap them off?
The actual water well, that would be a 9-Star question, because 9-Star is going to do water at the same time.
Didn't know if it had been discussed out loud yet. About
Not
that.
really, and as you know, we're coming there. I'm coming, and 9-Star is coming to the Regional Sewer Board to discuss the overall project later this month, I think.
14th.
Okay, and so that's going to be addressed then, Mary. But I'm thinking normally when I do water and sewer projects, water is not mandatory hookup. Sewer is within 300 feet. Water, it's not if you want to keep your own well. Then it's a matter of, do you want rusty water or not?
Well, I was thinking more as they do connect, but they can keep their well and do outside, water their lawns or watch their cars or whatever they choose to do outside and not have to use the water they're paying.
Subject to 9-Star's rules, I believe that is true, but I do not know for a fact.
You just have to have it plumbed that way and keep a working well pump and.
Right.
We just had to convince them that it's easier to do it when they're going through there, because we just had the situation down here at subdivision down here. People had the opportunity to hook up to all that stuff years ago when it was put in. Some of them did not do it. They came back wanting the same price as we were offering it to them before.
Yeah.
And it went up by $15,000. So, I mean, it's a good idea for them to hook up to water as it's coming through, just like sewer.
Well, and one more thing about water is the county, the money we spent was not for, water was run at the same time the sewer. But I like to point out, the county did not fund the water. We only funded the sewer. It's environmental. So when some people complain about paying for water. We're not making anyone hook up to water.
Yeah.
We didn't pay to put water lines in front of their house.
Well,
Yeah.
and the cheaper part of that whole scenario is the water. It's the sanitary sewer that your bill rises so much from. I mean, that's what we're experiencing out east.
And I don't know if Hancock County's got this, but in Hancock or in Hendricks and Putnam, we have wells that are sometimes 6 feet below in a concrete, if the home's older, and you are not allowed to remodel or rebuild without that being brought up out of that concrete pit. And I don't know, in Hancock, you may not, but in this area, there may be some
If
like
you're
that.
talking about in Maxwell, there's a lot of really, really shallow wells inside that town, and the water quality is horrid.
And I'm talking about the ones that are 8 foot down in the
And they're not-
ground
they
because
weren't
they
brought
suck
to the
water
surface
in
of the-
and they become, that's so they won't allow you, Hendricks County will not allow you to remodel or rebuild with that type of water system. So, okay, so what we're going to do, Jim, is we're going to work with Mary. We're going to have a resolution that we're going to deposit the $75,000 on a temporary basis. A whole new bank account and everything for the Regional Sewer Board general fund in order to deposit this. So that's going to take a little bit of ordinance work and some things like that. And then they will have to, going forward, have their own annual report too. So we'll be filing, welcome to Auditor's Office, Mary, if you haven't been there before.
Well,
She's new.
I'm assuming that once the interchange is done and we have commercial entities coming in around the interchange and things like that, then all of that, those sewer hookup fees then drop into this fund?
Well, the sewer hookup fees, we haven't really, I don't
You take a
recall.
Meijer store, that's a big fee.
Yeah, I guess we're still working that out with Nine Star.
Yeah.
Right, Jim?
Yeah,
I mean, and Bill's not here,
I
but
just forget how that fee was set up, honestly.
yeah.
But we'll know more on the
Look at 'em.
14th.
Yeah,
when we're all
yeah.
together.
And please do not, do not divert from the 3 or whatever, add. I'm going to Hendricks counties, I've got their regional sewer here. They got over $6 million in the bank. So, and they've been at $1 or $2 and it's working. So you can accumulate, took a while, took a long time, and they're looking at something at 70 and 39, but, it can work. It just takes a while. Okay.
Well, and I was talking with someone from Charlottesville last night, and we're going to need some sort of backup plan like that when we get to Charlottesville because, there are very few houses, and a lot of those folks, it's lower income out there.
Yeah.
And they will have to be, we're going to have to take care of them in some
Subsidized.
fashion.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because a lot of those folks out there cannot afford what we could be proposing for them.
And
Also, I'd
that-
like to add that, the town of Charlottesville is almost non-existent as far as government goes, okay? I mean, their sidewalks and everything else out there are just crumbling away. I just got a call this week and about people speeding through there and all that, so I've already taken care of putting a speeding sign out there. But they got little pieces of sidewalks all the way through that town. It just, we're gonna have to probably help them there. So, that's,
Incorporated, they're
Unincorporated.
unincorporated.
But, the sidewalks and everything could be part of the project like it was in Shirley years ago when we did the sidewalks, roads, and new sewer.
And a place like that needs the water part for the fire.
Oh, that's the scary part, because I'm sure, in talking with a resident of Charlottesville last night, your homeowner's insurance can be very expensive, even if it's just a volunteer fire department. And I did not know that there was a tremendous difference between having a professional fire department and a volunteer staff. I did not know there was a difference there.
I have set up fire districts and fire territories, and it is literally across the street or not across the street, it'll be $500 difference.
Yeah, and, this particular resident lives right across the street,
Yeah.
but there's not a hydrant to be seen, anywhere.
We just have to be proud that we're trying to do something for the quality of the water, because it hasn't been done to this level before. Everybody's just said.
Kicked it down the road.
Kick it down the road. Because every dollar we're trying to capture here and every dollar we're trying to spend is solving water quality issue in our county. And if we don't stop it, it just gets worse and worse and worse the bigger the county grows. But we've got to, everybody that's elected, as long as they're here, we got to make sure this money gets to where it's supposed to get to. We can't steal it for something else. We can't use it for other things. And then if when we set up these districts, if someone has to be charged a surcharge, you just have to say it's for the betterment of you and everybody else, because we're trying to solve the issues.
And these small towns can't afford to do the investment part of it because their monthly bills would just be out of sight.
Oh, it would
So
be.
that's why we really need to come up
When
with the
Bowman Acres,
investment
when
side.
Bowman Acres was built, that
And then
sewer
they
fee
pay
was
for their
on
operations.
the lot. And a lot of people couldn't buy lots in there
Forced
because
them
they
to do
couldn't afford the
something
sewer fee.
That's what they afford to do.
And,
Right.
And we're trying, by the way, remember, we're just starting out on this runway.
Right.
We haven't got no feedback from the state yet. There's lots of competition. So, we got a long way to go here.
At least we're going. Ball's rolling.
We're making
Yes.
positive
Start
movement.
somewhere.
And it really is truly, we're trying to do it for our people.
Constituents, yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But we're not depending on the state. I know we're trying to follow get the best use of our money as we can by working with the state, but we don't have to have the state.
But they're not going to shut us down.
We
if they
have the finances
stop us.
to do it.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3.
So it is my understanding the commissioners have included the GEO. What I want to pass out here is a little write-up that S&P released last week. And if you'll take one and pass it around, Jim. And this basically says, talking about Indiana's property tax reforms, stronger possibility of negative credit implications. So what S&P came out and said last week, and I was down in Savannah, Georgia, which Savannah's not the most delightful place recently, but so that's where the conference was. And S&P said 2 out of 3 credits across the country are going to get downgraded. And so, Robin, this also hits your point on, I keep getting the question, when is cash balance too much? And it's the answer is, well, what turbulent times are we going in? Or are we just storing up cash because we're going very, very smoothly? Well, no, the smoothly is not working. And what they're saying is, and with our new assessor, we won't assume 15% growth in AV, but if we did achieve the 5% like we achieved this year, then our GEO bond will increase the tax rate. So you got to be aware of that. We will probably not be able to, we froze our tax rate and we gave some of our operating balance back. We got all of our levy appeal that we could back in, but we gave back a little cash balance. And so if we only get 5% and we get a 5% growth quotient or a 4% growth quotient, then what we will probably do is have an increase in the tax rate, because the 25 GEO, remember, we used the premium and bought that down to stabilize the rate, and then brought out of cash balance the extra little bit that we needed. And so remember, there's a lot of things that went on last year. to get to this. And so now we're going to move ahead. So we're going to be doing the 26 bond. We don't know what net AVs will do, but what they're saying here, what we're expecting is net AV will go down, okay? Especially because of the new exemptions and the new deductions that continue on for the next, don't forget, 4 more years.
So
You
did
know.
our growth, what was our AV growth percent this year then? It was just
5
5%?
for 25 or 26, sorry.
26,
Yeah.
But it was higher than that the year before, so are we seeing a trending of slowing down?
Yes. And part of that is, again, remember that the extra deductions that the state has given for 5 years. And I showed you that home value might be going up, but home deductions are making the net AV go down. And the question is, will they outstrip each other? In Hancock, you'll be totally different than any other. You know, Hendricks, Hamilton, Boone, and Hancock will all kind of look similar. But everybody else.
I had read, I was going to make a call, but you may know, I had read that the cost tables had been updated by the DLGF, and it said for 2026. Was that for 25 pay 26 or 26 pay 27?
It was pay 26, but it continues on.
Right. So
Into
what AVs we're
26.
seeing right now is the new cost tables that people are being notified of.
Correct.
What we're hearing, or I'm hearing anyway, is that even though this Senate Bill 1 was supposed to help with the reduction in all these additional exemptions or deductions we're going to get implemented, the new cost tables kind of offset
you know, the
that.
cost tables are more for commercial as opposed to residential. I
No.
mean, you still have the residential influence of the neighborhood.
But that's not how it, no. The AV of the new cost tables on the residential side grew as well. I've been getting some calls on them already about that someone's AV went up $50,000 and they don't know why. Nothing's changed. So yes, the assessor could offset that raise with the factor.
Right.
But I don't think that happened this year.
Okay.
So what we're seeing is that the AV grew because of the cost table and nothing was done to offset it.
So we'll see what the new assessor does as we go forward, or eventually the new assessor.
That's- yeah.
So, Greg, bottom line, though, you're saying that due to the increase in exemptions, as we do GO bonds, well, the next one is probably going to cause the tax rate to go up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay,
And I
that's
really
the bottom line.
want you to understand that and then understand the unknown.
Why does that have a negative effect on the bond rating, though?
Well, the
I'm
bond
not-
rating is more about our ability to meet the debt obligation has decreased because of the limitations put on us by state legislation.
Or I would even say funding government, you know, because of the unknown in the income tax, and then the fact that property tax rates will be going up as AV goes down. And that will be a function of both SEA1 and if you add, you know, additional GO bonds. So.
Now, Greg, you know, I
Okay.
think my personal thought is we need to make the most out of our 2026 bond.
Yeah.
Because there's a good possibility we may not do a GO bond in 27 to save our taxpayers. Am I thinking correctly down that line?
Yes, but.
The other thing is, we have a GO bond coming off, too.
Yes.
So,
we put together that schedule and we actually handed it out, and I think it's actually in the sustainability, because we've been on the annual process. And by the way, the annual process, we were doing that when Bill was here, Bill Bone Lane. And so we have some dropping off now strategically, and we've been aging that, and that will affect Standard & Poor's concept of us too. And so I think there's some coming off and going on that is working well.
So we should stay, hopefully,
Again, depending on the assessment, depending on cost tables, depending on cash balances, depending on income taxes too, so.
Greg, do you know off the top of your head how much we're talking on rate? You know, if this bond was 5 million instead of 6.8, would that maintain the rate?
Well, here's one of the concepts we've thought about is, number one, this bond will have a 5% interest rate on it. That's what everybody, I don't know if anybody bought for their own personal a tax exempt bond, but that's what you will get no matter if you buy a state or a Hancock County or anybody. You'll get a 5% coupon. You will reconcile it back to a 3.7 probably, but this one probably will go out closer to 4 net interest cost wise. So we will get premium. Our opinion would be we do what we did last year with the premium from the 25 is we deposit that to the debt fund, Mary, and deposit that into the debt fund, lowering that impact of the rate, okay? Then what we could do is you could also then deposit some other funds. You could deposit EDA money, you could deposit food and beverage money to then supplement that rate before, we get too far with the rate. In other words, if we know we need about 200,000 to get it down to X, okay, as long as we deposit that at time of closing of the bond or before we set the budget, we can do that. We can buy that down. So that's why I've been kind of on trying to get the timeline worked out where we're doing the 26 bond issue before we finalize the budget. And now that we've got the need assessment, we're ready to go. Okay, and we're ready to get, I believe Lisa Lee's got the ordinances together. So we're trying to put together this 12-month timeline and keep it as flexible as possible. Am I making sense in what you asked?
Yeah, and I guess
Okay.
all I'm saying is I would make sacrifices or use funds from other places, et cetera, in order for the rate not to go up. I've been here over 5 years. We've not raised the rate. And, even if it meant taking $1 million out of rainy day and then building rainy day back up for the tax rate to not go up, like those are things I would.
Yeah, I definitely would not cut general fund balance to do it.
Right, but if
That would be-
if floating some money out of rainy day and then gradually putting getting back to the 7 million target in rainy day meant not raising the tax rate, I would definitely do that.
So the answer is all of those in our hip pocket, right? And if the timeline works out, we'll be able to strategically know what we need before it's too late.
Okay, perfect.
Okay? And so we would always advertise the budget on the GO bond as 10 cents. I don't care what it is, for advertisement purposes, because it will always go back down to the actual. Okay? So over the next 6 months, we'll strategically build our position.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's all because there's
That's
so
good
many
enough for
things
me.
going on here.
I
We got
get
the
it.
25 rolling in, we got the 26, we got premium in different places and things like that. So stay tuned. Okay.
Okay, so to the bond. As I understand it, the Exhibit A would be $1,632,000 for the courthouse windows and doors. Ag Association.
Was that 632, Jim?
Pardon me?
Did you say 632?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Ag Association right now is 0. E911 equipment would be 0. The Sheriff's Department for cars would be $833,000. And then at number 5 would be a total of $2,783,258. That's for the highway.
That's the highway, that's to rehab their actual office that got holes in the windows and everything painted. And they've got a 80-year-old building over there that we have to replace. And it's been needed to be replaced for a while. So
that's where they store the
Yes,
trucks and
Yes.
stuff like that.
I walked through it just last week. I mean, there's rust on the beams there, so I mean, it's time we get it done, so.
Okay. And then 100,000 for, that's memorial building.
That is to fix up the bathrooms, because they've got broken
Everything.
pots, everything over there. So we're
Everything.
just trying to make it livable, because we've got people in there. We don't want anybody to get hurt or cut or anything like that, so, yeah. There's,
It's a hot mess.
I went through that last week also, and it's bad.
It wasn't good last year when we did our building inspections, so.
It's not gotten any better.
Surprise, it hasn't improved.
Just as an aside, can we assume, in looking at the county farm master plan, that the transportation department will be, by building that building, are the commissioners saying we're going to keep the transportation department where it is?
I think it's a consensus right now. We're going to keep it here. I mean, I did have them, I called Mark and told him, I said, throw it out there in your plan, but I don't know that it's actually going to go. But at least we'll know what it will look like if it were out there.
Okay, okay. And then the IT equipment is 690,000?
Yes, that's for programs, that's for hardware, I mean,
Yeah. So that all adds up to 6,038,258. If I'm adding them up right. So there would be some more monies there, hopefully, if we do a 6.8.
yeah, it pays the fees and all that kind of stuff, so.
So that, would you be looking at that then back on the other two items that have zero?
If we pay the fees and all that kind of stuff, and we have money left over, and if we can give that something to the Ag Association, or if we can give something to 911, we'll gladly do that.
Okay, okay.
Stating
So
that nothing
that's-
else crops up in
Yeah,
taxes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no guarantees.
Well,
Shocks or floods.
do you want me to, okay, I'm not in favor of that without something for the Ag Association. I understand that we can take some out of food and beverage, because I think that's good money, good use for that money. That's different money than property tax. But if we can take maybe $500,000 from what's left, because there's what, 600,000 or 700,000, and then add $1 million from food and beverage to the Ag Association, get $1.5 million for the Ag Association, I think that's worth us fighting over.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Kent, at all, but however, we don't know what surprises are yet in store, because just from some of these things that we looked at last year, going forward, what we need to do this year, the price increase was incredible. And so we just want to make sure that we are able to keep our buildings and everything in good order.
And to add to that, our windows and doors over there, originally, we had I think a 2.5 budget for them to do everything over there last year, and it actually went up even more to do it this
Well,
year.
and I'm not against, it sounds like we may end up with, well, let's don't cut out the idea that we're not going to have a zero bond next year. It may be a small bond, but if we pay off a bond this year, we may not be able to do a 6.8 million, but if we do a half that size or less bond of reimbursing back with that bond stuff we take out of food and beverage or somewhere else, you know what I mean, also. So if
I
we,
can't imagine anyone up here is wanting to take away from the Ag Association.
right,
We don't.
that's what I said. If we can all figure out how to get something of that thing too, because the $2.8 million for the highway department wasn't spoken of when we were talking about all these other things. That's a surprise there. Okay.
Well, yeah, and I didn't even know about it until Bill brought it back
Right.
to me. He says, we've been putting this off. So, I mean, I didn't know about it at that point in time. That come later.
Right. And I'm not saying it's not
Important,
It's
yeah.
not important, but we do have the ability to fund everything, okay? We do have that ability. A couple years from now, 2 or 3 years from now, everything will go on. We won't even worry about what we're talking about right now. You know what I mean? But I'm saying though too, that the best use of our food and beverage is to help back into the local economy.
Oh, absolutely, especially
You
something
know,
like
not
the ag that
right.
brings
Yeah.
food and
I don't
beverage
think
money in.
using it to build a shed for the trucks is good use of that money. I mean, you know, because it's self-fulfilling. And the only thing we really have to support, to bring for our local economy, for our county, the only thing is really keep making sure the fairgrounds can do as much as they can possibly do. You know what I mean?
And if we don't disagree, we
I
don't
agree
disagree.
that
I think we're
it's
just
more
being,
of a wait and see.
yeah, we're just being
because
overly cautious.
I kind of disagree with the idea that we don't need to maybe put money into existing buildings that we already own because we could feed it towards ag. But if the money becomes available that we can give something to ag, that would be great. But I would like to see that we have a certain level of maintenance on all of our buildings.
We
so
have to
don't
at this
get in-
We our building, that building out there is
We
80
spend a
years
lot of
old.
money on it.
So, I mean, and the windows and the doors over here, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, they're falling apart.
Well, but we're really generous with what we do with our county government buildings. We're spending $6 or $7 million. We just spent $35 million on a jail. We're spending $6 or $7 million on the jail again. You know, this is $3 million for that building. This is $2 million for that building. We are,
I'm not talking about new construction. I'm talking about a maintenance.
yeah.
Is keeping what we have usable and safe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really was
agree.
shocked
I'd
we have to
rather
spend that much
not
money on the
bond for
courthouse.
4-H.
You know what I
Find
mean?
it someplace else.
Right.
Oh, it's
and use
a
that
price,
for the county.
it's sticker shock.
I know, because the courthouse.
All of it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Guys,
And another
as
thing
far
that
as
we're
we-
looking at right now is the addition to the annex.
Yeah. We really haven't had a good capital plan, and Gary and I have been working
Yeah.
together
No, we
on
haven't.
it.
That we're
The
following.
commissioners have gone to all the department heads and asked for five-year
Five-year
capital
plans.
plan from them. But we have not had good insight into what is coming up. So,
And we are
A
starting to
stretch.
get those back in. So,
yeah, a scratch together here. Hopefully we can work to
and
come up
on
with a
that
mutual
also,
plan.
I added, just where everyone knows about it, we have a done deal with Jack and Sons. And we will be shaking on that fairly soon. And right now, you've got, I put Charlottesville on there. I mean, anything we can do for sidewalks out there or whatever, I mean, we can,
Yeah.
and I've already talked to Gary also, and he said, I'll see what I can do or whatever. And I mean, Gary's real good at trying to do something, so. And
What is the intent for the land use there, for the county to perpetually possess that land?
we want to clean up the mess, number
Yeah,
one.
Quality of life.
Yes, it's quality of life, and if we can put some of that property back on the tax rolls, that would be great. So, but the actual Jack and Sons junkyard part of it, we're going to get help from Greenfield because they're going to use their Brownfield grant to actually go in and assess things. So we're just trying to get it cleaned up.
But we will own it?
Yeah.
County will own
Yeah.
the ground?
I mean, if Greenfield wants to buy it off of us afterwards, we'll probably sell it to them.
Yeah, now, the money for buying it, which is around 200,000, is coming, I believe, from the bridge fund, I think.
From the what fund?
I don't know for a fact, but Gary would be able to say that.
We're working on that, but
We're working on all that. So Jack and
Gary is
Sons
working
contacted
his-
us last week, so we're in the process of getting that taken care of.
But we'll
Yeah, you can.
update this
you
capital
can.
plan, we'll work together to.
Yes.
And get everything done.
Hopefully,
And then-
we can work Keely into this also.
There's,
Between you and I.
there's going to be a 27 and a 28, so there's going to be.
So that we
this
don't get
update
surprised with
Yes.
year
something.
only.
And we can plan ahead and develop the financial plan to finance it.
What was
Great.
the deadline for our department heads and elected officials? Capital plan.
I really didn't put a deadline on it. I just told them that with the council needs that information in order to better budget. So I would hope that by budget time, we might have it back.
I think the idea of coming from the auditor's office is that when we send out the request for budget, by June 1st or something, that they'll, go ahead, Mary. You've
Yeah,
got a
that
plan.
means we're going to have to send out the information probably the end of this week or next week.
Yeah.
If we want to give them ample time to work up a budget and get it back to us by June.
So,
Is that okay?
so Jim, if we can back up, as your registered municipal advisor with several security licenses that I have to protect, and they made that obvious last week.
Okay.
The resolution of need here, did I hear something, or did I need clear direction when we publish the official statement that we are using it on these items? So, what did I hear as far as clear direction?
Do we need to pass something or just?
No, just,
Telling.
you came to 6038.
Do you have to put dollar amounts on each item?
No, we're not going to do that,
No.
but we're going to say it's going to be spent for these items,
Well, can you
know.
include the items that were zeroed?
And-
And then if there's money.
They are in
It's on there. It's in there.
And I will.
Yeah.
That, I wanted it there for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we get to the closing, we
Right.
need to know the intent.
Right. But for now, we can list all the items.
Yes.
Yeah. All the
It's there in your
items are
paper.
there.
Okay.
I put the dollar figures there.
Okay. All right.
And they're not in the document. I verbally did that. Just a verbal.
Chicken scratched it. Right?
Yeah.
You chicken scratched it.
I'm familiar with his chicken scratches.
So what would be the intent? We will put, obviously 6,600,000 probably of project funding, and you.
I think the intent is as written.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And can't remember just one thing. We were trying to kind of avoid, I told you this last meeting, avoid doing, Lisa Lee said we would have to do a taxable bond deal for the ag. We said, no, we don't want to do a $1 million or $2 million taxable on top of what we're doing here.
Right.
So we said if we funded as much as we could out of food and beverage, that would eliminate that issue. Not that we can't on some specific things. It's the way they're going about doing it. They're using their, as much good help as they can, and they're not bidding it out as a solid package and things like that. So that was causing Lisa Lee heartburn. Okay, so that's why, again, I made that point early on today about food and beverage. That's, not tax exempt bond money.
Right.
So,
Kent, also, we had the Ag Association come in last month, and they're actually raising money on their own also.
Yes.
So that's what the purpose of having these people come in and tell us what's going on with what we're
Right.
giving them. So, but yeah, they're raising money off some of the money that we have given them in the past. So.
Yeah.
so Jim, are we moving to the 5-year capital improvement plan then?
Let's do it.
Because, as soon as we go to the rating agency, they're going to want the 5-year capital improvement plan. So if we've got a combination, if I'm going to, I would formally have this typed up so it looks like a plan or whatever.
I will send out another note
what's
today
wrong with
and
my
see if we
hand
can't
straight?
speed it up a little bit.
What's wrong with that hand?
You're saying that for the S&P, you're proposing these, you'll have to propose this list as the capital improvement plan.
We need a reconciliation of both groups.
And does this have to mean from bonds, or can this just mean from all funding sources, this is our plan?
The latter part, correct.
Okay.
all
that's what's
funding
important
sources.
to me. Okay.
You just have to have a plan.
We'll get together and
Yeah.
finish it out.
And your chicken scratching is perfect, but we want a professional looking document.
Just saying.
There's Jim Shelby and his chicken scratches again.
You need
You're
to sign that.
By one rating agency, you're a AAA, you probably should look like it.
I just want to say
Dress
that
the part.
one reason I did this was that he said Hendricks County does this. So
They probably do it in an Excel spreadsheet, but, no,
No, they
they chicken
Larry
scratch it
Scott,
too.
actually, I gave him Larry Scott's, who's the president of the council, and I'm going there next week, and I'm saying, and I'm going to type this up professionally.
Didn't put that on.
So,
anyway,
no,
we
Janine,
will-
I'm sorry.
We will have a good capital
Is Larry,
plan.
is he running again?
Larry Scott? No,
Yeah.
he's done.
Like at the end of this year like I am?
Yeah,
done?
that's why I got chicken scratching.
I always chat with him, so we're going out together, huh?
Yeah, so you can have lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's
You'll have time.
assessor for Mid-Munity.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
We'll have it for the next meeting. A good
Do we need to do anything
compilation
with
of everything.
that? Has it already been approved? I mean,
Yeah, we've signed off on it.
Okay,
The ordinance, for
everything's
the
done with
bond
that?
ordinance, yeah.
Yeah, you signed this, you approved
Yeah.
it, now the bond ordinance
I didn't know
is-
if council had to do anything or,
No, sir.
okay.
They will approve the bond ordinance, which will be, now, obviously, usually the commissioners submit this to council, the council agrees to fund it, but they've already agreed to fund it, so that's assumption, and so the bond ordinance would now go next.
Okay.
And council will approve the bond ordinance.
All right.
So the commissioners can relax.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
That we can relax.
We can relax.
I don't know.
Election's over, we got money.
As far as the Ag Association part here, you'll notice I put down what we originally talked to them about, the phases. Don't really know. I know they've come before the commissioners, and Keely and I were gonna go talk to them also about what they can actually do in time frame, and maybe adjust this around, and then see when the bond is sold, and is there going to be some money in the bond for the Ag Association, then we can maybe sit down and decide, do we want to go ahead with monies for the Ag Association other than the GO bond from like economic development, food and beverage?
And that would work, economic development. I mean,
Well, that 5%, we
Yeah.
gave a nice donation to Amplify this year, so it's not, I think, out of context to possibly give a nice donation through that 5% as well.
And next year.
501c3 is eligible.
yeah.
Is it possible for the tourism to bond? for-
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
For things.
Matter of fact, we did.
Oh, sure.
That's actually something I wasn't prepared to speak on today, but I will ask that we put that on an agenda sooner than later, because I do have some ideas for how that might be worth looking at in terms of either the future of the courthouse, if we're no longer occupying it for the judicial system, or the fairgrounds, or other venues that could be of public benefit.
Yeah, because we don't really see intrinsic value out of that sometimes. And if we had a specific plan for some of that money over a certain amount of time, and we could quantify, a project with some of that, it would probably make us all feel better.
Yeah, the funding is there, and I was actually gonna propose that we begin some open discussions
There's a lot of
on
money there.
whether we could better make a plan and a proposition regarding innkeeper's tax that would better utilize it towards these exact things we're talking about.
I was hearing somewhere that they really didn't give away a lot of bonds or grants or anything out of it this year.
That's inaccurate. They
okay,
have blown through their grant budget already this year, and so that's something I want to talk about. Could that money be better spent? They have the right to do that. They have the right to grant it. But I've been looking at that for the last year and really have come to a firm conclusion that given the county's vision for maintaining the courthouse when we're no longer using it for judicial and the fairgrounds and its untapped potential, that there's some missed opportunity happening there as it relates to innkeeper's tax.
So agenda item number 2, Jim, for next time.
Right.
And don't forget, we did do that, bond that was privately negotiated with the developer for the
Gateway?
Gateway.
Yeah, we did.
And so don't forget that, but in Hendricks County, that's how we did their convention center that's tied to Marion County, or not Marion County, but Marriott. And, we own the convention center, they own the hotel.
Would that be appropriate to put that on the next budget meeting agenda, first Wednesday of?
Well, probably what would be really nice is, I don't know how the Gateway Hotel / Convention Center is going. Do you, Janine? Or
Moving.
I was out there yesterday. and
That
it's
building's going up like
well.
Yeah, it is.
It's going up, and
Super.
We're
and that
getting
was a
another
developer
hotel on-
backed bond.
in town here too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're building it right now.
Yeah, so that innkeeper's tax is going to escalate, okay?
Absolutely it is.
But that facility's innkeeper tax will long pay that bond. So the
Correct.
county won't net any more innkeeper's tax for a very long time.
Well,
I think it's 20 years, isn't it?
Does anybody remember how long
I was
that,
thinking that's 20 years.
for that developer-backed bond?
I've got it somewhere, but I believe we may have gone 20, but with early payoff just to have the right to collect. And in case there's a shortfall, remember that's what, but I can find that out for next time.
If you look at the Ag Association over the next few years, they're trying to plan out 5 years like everybody else. And like another phase, a $2 million phase in year 3 or whatever. And, we're having a new Fairfield Inn built. The object of that money was to try to put it into something that's going to help the people that are paying that money.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, are we really doing that with that money? Are we really putting people into beds? And we did the studies about the people that come into the community for the programs at the fairground. And it'll blow your mind how much money.
I can imagine.
And so I don't know why we're not helping bonding with the tourism money, a portion of their money
To go to the
to do that too, or to supplement.
I think there's easily room in there for probably $400,000 a year of cash flow.
Why don't we do it?
And that's a
project.
good bond over a 5 or 7 year period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they can do take care of some of their large projects without us trying to take it out of economic development and other things. I'm not against that, but you know what I'm saying?
If we've got money that we can utilize rather than take it out of
Yeah, but if
beverage and all
you
that.
bring tourism in here, they're gonna tell you they're broke and they don't have a penny. And that, T-shirts for the kids in New Palestine
It's
are
spent.
what
It's
they've
not
gotta
how we would
have.
spend.
You know what I mean?
Bob Mancy can squeeze a nickel out of
no,
a
not-
penny. He can. He's
One off, it's
doing a
it's
good
spent.
job.
But their income is going to grow though too.
Their
because
income is growing.
There are other hotels.
There
being
are other
built.
hotels
Yeah.
that will.
In the
It's
whole,
not
in the
going
whole
away.
county,
It's
yeah.
gonna
Well, whenever we get together next, then discuss that.
Yeah, I had called Bill Spalding to ask if he had even a round number on if we quit using the courthouse for the judicial system, but we want to maintain that building, preserve that building, keep it as some kind of community amenity, preserve the ceremonial courtroom and that kind of thing. What does the county need to plan on spending on average annually to both generally maintain the courthouse and make these major improvements every so many years? He didn't have that number off the top of his head, but even that could be a possibility. We talked about last year when we kind of all came to consensus that the fairgrounds would not be moving anytime.
They
soon.
said they didn't want to.
They don't
They don't
want
want to.
They don't want to, and it's financially not feasible. But what we said, that the only regret we had about that is that there is no large indoor venue that can host year-round events for a large size. But tourism certainly has enough innkeeper's tax to fund a bond payment to build a venue like that. So we have some options we could propose and work together on to bring some of those ideas to fruition.
But we got to have commissioners' help.
Well,
The commissioners in the past have been unwilling to help us.
you know,
And-
I don't think that we have that issue anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I feel that we've worked very well together and will continue to do that.
Well, and everybody knows we've been through this tourism thing many times. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I've lost a lot of sleep over it in the past, and I don't want to see Keely get off the board. She's frustrated.
I did resign. I did resign off their nonprofit board and intend to advocate for change at this.
Right, so, I mean, it is gonna take all of us to stand up and say, no, these monies are better spent here. Let's do something important with that money. Let's just don't go year after year. And what happened to it? Well, it was this or that or this or that. You know what I'm saying? I said.
Be a plan, period.
There should be, and we should be able to get a quantitative thing out of it. I mean,
Jim, just one final point on the justice system of 100 million. That's, this is the fourth one I'm working on at that price level. Monroe County started out at 225 million 2 years ago, and we're down to 135, and we're lucky if we can do that. And they have been literally working on it for 2 to 3 years. Hendricks has got the same thing coming up. Every one of them will have to take lit special, probably a special lit, as I showed you, or at least go into the 1.2 lit rate max. So that's going to be really critical as we talk about must groups and things like that. So, and that's about the only way you can do it.
Yeah. Well, yesterday, Jeff and I went out and we looked at the one out there that's ours out in the county, and we also looked at Greenfields, and ours is bigger. But anyway, that's really important. That's something that's stationary, doing with the tourist money, and it's stationary and it will be there. And I sat down with Bridget one day and I was shocked how many calls we get for event centers. It's amazing. And I think Jeff said Greenfield's already booked up. Yeah, so it's crazy.
This was 10 years ago, just one wintertime indoor national cattle show is like, and this was 10 years ago, it was like $360,000 into the community.
Oh, wow.
For one event. And I mean, we did all those studies. We did all the feasibility. Tom Miller, who was working for, Miller Associates, did all the, it was amazing how much money it means to the community. And that's why we've been pursuing it so long. I mean, and.
Let's just make the.
But Jim and Keely and myself will get together and we'll discuss and see how we can make it work.
Between tourism and
Let's
the 5%.
move on to the 2027 budget instructions.
Okay, so Jim, we looked at the 2% versus the 3%. For the general fund, we're saying, with your help from your payroll department, probably plus or minus with benefits, it's probably about a $700,000 swing in general fund. And I have a general fund sustainability that we can send you with 3% and with 2%.
Well, first of all, we need to decide what we're going to do as a general increase. And looking back at the minutes of the meeting, sounds like we got to determine, are we going to do 2% or 3%? And then we need to determine with the elected officials, what are we going to do with the elected department heads and then we part-time people? So we need to decide.
And Jim, if I may, the 2% or the 3%, working with the payroll department, we took the 26 pay, subtracted out the extra pay. They got a base per employee, and that is the base number that we increased 2 or 3%. So now for elected officials, we left the 1,500 in, that's my understanding, on the 26, and then we're taking 2 or 3% of that. Is your payroll person here?
They are not here, and
Okay.
I cannot confirm that 50. What you want us to do, so they went back and forth on that, and I thought that you guys had agreed.
I believe that's what they've done. So what's critical is when I'm assuming you mean 26 base pay without the 27th pay.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
I did.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we did.
I would like to just see us arrive at a percentage on the overall staffing, employees' pay raise, and then we can lump the department heads and the elected officials under one umbrella, and then just come up with a flat number for that if we choose to, or we could go ahead and use the percentage, either way. I know we quoted it's been a couple months probably, that the cost of living increase was 2.8% at that time, or the increases to Social Security. So I support the idea of 3% if we are still having an open discussion about the percentage. And the salary study committee ceases to exist, so anything that will be decided here without a recommendation from any study that had been done.
I wanted to propose something when we send out instructions, and if we did this, I could be on board with the 3%. I'd really like to propose for this budget cycle, no new positions. By nature of creating all the positions that we did at the courthouse, it's my opinion, financially, we have absorbed all the capacity with that move, and I'll ask Greg to say what he thinks. I haven't talked to him about it.
What about Amplify? Because there's going to be another person added in there for taking care of Amplify, because they want to be on the county.
Well, we were told from the very beginning with Amplify that we would have nothing in the operations, that once we built the building, we would have nothing. in it.
I haven't heard that
I could have swore that there's talk out there about that.
I don't think so.
Well,
We
but
just own the building.
maybe we need to specify or define. If the new person was on the county benefits and payroll, but we get a reimbursement.
I think
I would go
Amplify
with
has
that.
the money to reimburse.
think
Okay.
If the
that
county doesn't.
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
Right.
so.
I think the discussion was whether we're going to let Amplify do it themselves, or if, since it's a county-owned building, let the county do it, Amplify and reimburse. I don't think it was ever discussed that the county would have to bear the burden.
And I'll bring something else up too. We have to take care of GIS this year. I mean, they're going to want a little extra money this year. And we're also
Well, I'm not
working.
talking about money, I'm talking about positions.
No, not positions.
we're talking about money.
We're kind of conversing with Greenfield to actually have them join with our GIS
They
and
should.
maybe work out something there.
They should.
Consolidation of GIS
Yes.
is happening.
Because, I mean, there's no use in, and they don't have some of the technologies that we have. So it'd be to their benefit. So, but we've not got an answer on that yet. So, but yes,
I don't see any problem
But
with
all
all
we're
the
talking
town-
about today
city
is just the
council
general
participating
instructions,
if they
not
want
the
to log on to our
details.
GIS.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but,
It
yeah.
would just be, the
But they
general
have to
instruction
pay
would
for
be there
their-
to add new positions.
John Milburn and his assistants, they need a bump.
They're underpaid
Because
for what they do.
I know
where
they
we're
use-
coming from is we are, in the current budget, we've got like 5 new people for courthouse
I agree with that.
security at
There's not room for more new
$361,000.
Yeah, just flat statement.
We also
There'll be no
have
hiring.
3
There's a hiring
navigators.
Jim, can you start over? I missed all that conversation.
Okay. My hand scratching sheet, down at the bottom, well, first of all, I just took the revenues and I estimated the property tax increase and the income tax increase. Those are the numbers comes to 1,019,120. Probably revenue increases. Now, Greg may have some negatives to go in there, but that was mine. And
Where's that at, Jim?
Yeah, where is that?
Did you, this page?
Okay, oh, but I'm looking at,
We're looking at the wrong
yeah.
stuff.
sorry.
We switched pages, okay?
Number 2.
On the revenues, the upper part is the revenue side. I was trying to save paper, so I just took last year's and upgraded it for 27.
We don't have this.
We don't have this.
Oh, you don't have that?
This page right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you don't?
have that.
We don't have it.
You're holding it, Janine.
Yeah.
This is Clark's.
That's a clock.
Oh,
I got
I'm
it
sorry.
memorized.
Here, take mine.
Okay. Here you go.
Gary?
perfect.
Okay, now we're on.
Okay, go.
Taking a whack at the revenue side is the upper part. Our increase in income tax is going to be 6% according to Greg. And the property tax increase will be 4%. So if you do those numbers, you come up with about 1,019,000 increase in revenues.
Thank you.
Why does it have FSG revised?
Oh, we haven't done those.
Huh?
We haven't done those. Jim,
I
these
just,
are last year's.
yeah,
Oh, last year.
This
Yeah,
is
he's going by
scratch out
that.
FSG.
just my whack at it.
It's like I did not
This
do
is the
that.
first I've seen.
Okay.
And then I took
Surprise.
a whack at how much the 2% meant,
We expect it to be more.
about
Greg.
290,000. 3% is about 435,000. And then I added up the costs. I took the 3%, because that's what it sounded like people wanted, 435,000. But I added in, we already have increased costs for 27 of the courthouse security. That's 361,000 or about. And then the 3 navigators that we've committed to in the jail at 316,000. So you add up those 3 items and you get a little over 1,112,000.
Well, and that number would even
So-
be a little low because the 3% increase doesn't account for the fact that your FICA goes up on that 3%, maybe your workers' comp goes
Right.
up on that 3%. So that's actually a low ball.
Right.
So we're thinking it's more like 600.
Did that
Pardon me?
3%,
Or the incremental difference is about, that seems low, the 435.
when you calculated the 3%,
Does it?
did
Okay.
it include the elected officials and office department heads, just as a general number? Did the 3% include them, or did it not?
You just did that
Yeah.
on total payroll.
Yeah.
Just,
This is on total payroll?
yeah,
Okay.
total payroll, my estimate. you know.
Okay.
It's just a whack, you know. Yeah.
The only thing I want to add about this is, we're going to have it next week because we couldn't fit in the schedule this week, but Mr. Eaton's going, the prosecutor's office is going to come in. He wants to discuss additional staff. And I'm guessing other people are going to want to probably present additional staff too. So I think we got to listen to them, but I'm not saying we're going to do it. We just definitely need to listen to them.
Well, my thing is more when we send out instructions, like we're talking about, firming up these instructions for the auditor's office to send out, we're picking between 2 or 3%, it sounds like. But in addition to that, stating no new position requests.
Hiring freeze.
We would replace positions as needed.
Yeah, we're not
We're just-
removing any, but
Right.
don't add a new line item for a new person that doesn't already exist, a position that doesn't already exist.
Unless you presented it to us.
Because after adding the courthouse folks, plus 3%, it's,
Yeah. Is he gonna
Public defender, I have that in there as a $500,000 additional.
Well,
That's
I
what-
noted that
that's how it's
that's not in
trending.
my hen scratching, but
Yeah.
it's a real number.
I think so.
So I've kept it about 600 going out and growing.
Yeah, yep, which is an increase of about 400,000
What is that
over
for
what
this
we
year?
had budgeted.
It'd be for next year.
I had 500.
Well, it'd be for 2027.
It should be
Or the
budgeted.
budget amount for 25 so low, or
I mean, in
26 so low.
26, we budgeted 100,000.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 500,000.
I thought, according to them, 6.
problem with
6,
getting them?
okay.
I think if they want to
So-
request it, we need to at least let them
We've-
ask. We can say no. but to tell them.
I guess kind
No,
of
well,
bottom line, my thinking is we've spent all the money we've got. So,
No, you spent more than you're going to bring in.
what?
You spent more than likely, you're spending more than you're going to bring in.
Right.
Yeah.
Did last year.
And don't
Forget the commissioners directed us 9% on, that's what we build into the sustainability, 9% on group health.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're one of the
So-
lucky ones, I think, with just 9%, because I've heard as much as 12%.
Well, I heard directly from the hospital associations, now those numbers that I told you many, many years ago, they are built into the cost formulas. So the cost formulas are going up.
So the
The
question is,
sustainability on this, you know, we used to say, well, let's be conservative and hopefully it'll pan out a little better, pennies from heaven, et cetera, right? And things for many years, interest was better, pennies from heaven's better. But when we look out 5 years now, it's very likely not better. And we've been spending for years more than we take in because we had this good cash balance. But when you look out more than 5 years now, that's likely not the trajectory at all. So if we keep spending more than we bring in, that general fund balance will no longer be healthy a handful of years from now.
However, you know, if you think about, we end the year with what, $23 million in our general fund, and then we start into 2027 and have to spend an additional 600 on our people. Those are the people that are keeping this county moving forward. It's not us, it's them.
I can be
And I'm
totally
all
for
about
the
the
increase.
3%.
I'm just talking about new positions.
Well, I think that there could possibly be new positions.
Well, I was gonna say, if
Go
they
get 'em,
have,
Gary.
if they have a request,
And that- and
shouldn't we
that's simply
listen to it at
because,
least, and then we can say no if we want?
We're,
Yeah, I think they should be able to come to us, but
we could have to bring somebody in to do different things. I mean, we've even talked about in the past a county manager, in which they can do a lot more than we can do, plain and simple. They have the knowledge to do it. I just talked to one that just got released last week, or this last month, I think it was. And they're an engineer and they do a lot. I mean, it's a possibility. You're talking another 150 when you get down to benefits and everything like that. But they can look at some of these projects that we have been talking about and what we're going to be meeting with Randy about and see what, I mean, these are things that we need people who know what they're looking at. We can't just throw something out there for economic development if we don't know what we're looking at. So there could be somebody.
Well, I think we really have to start approaching those things as where are we deducting 150,000 to add this 150,000? Because the way it nets out over the years to come, the compounding of it, if every year you spend more than you take in, and now they're cutting what we're gonna take in, eventually you end up at zero, you know?
I know, I understand the concept and all that, but we have to take care of our people. And as this county gets bigger, costs are gonna go up.
So are you raising taxes to pay for it, or how are we gonna pay for it?
That's what we have to figure out. I mean, we have to plan for us to get bigger simply because we need people to take care of some of this stuff. I mean, you want to get too much on the people you got.
so maybe we need a 2% increase then and
Yeah.
put a little,
No, I'm not
instead of
doing
a
that.
3.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
either,
voting
because
that
we're
way.
That leaves
taking
room for
from
us county
them.
managers.
I would,
You're asking the current employees to
thing
pay
is,
for
yes.
somebody to come in.
Yeah.
And I think we should take care of what we have first.
yes.
too.
Well, we've never been, in the last few years, because the county is growing and because all the issues it's caused, we've never been neutral on our revenue versus our increases, okay? We've always been $800,000 or $900,000 more spending than what we're getting in additional revenue.
Because we had that surplus.
And that's why I said, it's always been that way. Every year it ends up this way. And until we stop growing some things like the police department, until we stop growing those other things that are causing us these budget issues, we won't be able to come back down
I
to
agree
it.
with what Keely said earlier. Is if we're going to add another $150,000 to the budget, then where can we look to maybe cut $150,000? I'm sure within all of the budgets in the county, there's some cuts that could be made of monies that's either not spent and rolls over, or it's an item that it just shouldn't be in the budget anymore. It's funding something that, I know we talked about at some point having a phone system that everybody operates under. Bernie has wanted to do that for years. I'm talking about the cell phones, that we spend a tremendous amount of money on cell phones because we let every office contract their own. And you may have an office with 2 people and they're paying $250 a month, and then you've got another office with 2 people and they're paying $100 a month. So getting uniform in a way with some of this outside spending that we do on services or product, I think would be something that we maybe push towards as well.
That's up to us.
Yeah. And we've talked about that. Well, Bernie's talked about it for years.
And again, don't forget the 9% insurance. If we have to fund that, that really helps the employee, because we're not talking about extra contributions to that. You know, so you got to take those into account. But I can't disagree. I agree quite a bit with Keely. Don't forget about that revenue side. And don't forget about that big interest income number, Kent. That's been a huge saving grace over the last year or two.
I think we might have a hard time.
And it's not dropping as fast as you thought it would, so.
Correct, but, you know, and we went with your prognostic, what you decided last time, and you said, hold on for 27, and I think you and I agree 28 will be different.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not real thrilled about the part of taking a percentage away from the employees on their raise to pay for a position for,
Me
somebody
either. That's why we
else.
just say no new
Yeah.
positions. Give it to the current
So,
employees.
you'll support no new position?
I think it'd have to be extreme circumstances. They'd have to really prove to us as extreme.
Guys,
Put
I
that
don't
into
want
words.
us to lose sight of the fact that we just got all of our associates up to a competitive pay, okay? We don't want that to go backwards. And it's, things go up.
Okay, so are we saying we will support the statement at least that, how would you say it? We're not going to consider new positions in 2027?
Yeah, and we'll still have some people that'll come in and,
Yeah, wow. But you got to make a statement.
yes.
That's all we're doing.
I mean,
here.
these people are submitting their
As
budgets, and we're
saying.
saying there is not room for new positions, but budget for the 3% increase. That doesn't mean that the commissioners won't propose to council at some point, we want a new county manager. It just means we're telling all department heads and elected official department heads, submit your budgets, 3% increase, no new positions.
And I do want to remind and make sure that we make it really clear that we felt like we had accomplished everything that we could with the budget committee. And so we've not done that this year. So those categories that they all went through have not been updated. So you can't really go by those.
If they have a question, they could probably reach out to Andrea while they're filling out their budget. And we can include that on.
Somebody can direct.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, because they really struggled to have some of their employees in those categories, and they've not been updated for this year,
Okay,
so.
so we're saying 3% and no new positions.
Do you
But
want to,
is there going to be a pre-budget preparation meeting? Is there going to be a pre-budget preparation meeting
Yeah,
with all the
1,500.
department heads and elected officials?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
A
you.
pre-budget preparation meeting with the department heads.
You know, our luncheon that you used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had
We
it.
didn't do that last
We
year, did
didn't,
we?
and I think we suffered from that.
We just sent out the message.
But I think it'd be a good idea to do it.
Me too. I missed it last year. I really did. I thought that we kind of missed the boat.
I'm
Because,
not
I mean,
even
people's going to
familiar with that.
have questions.
I think as long as we keep it simple and not go
Yeah.
into the projection of the counties making this much money this
Yeah.
year, they lost this money, they're not listening, I guarantee it.
No.
You just need to tell them the facts of where we are, and this is what we are going to propose, and take notes. And we need to add to that whether or not we're going to exclude the elected officials and department heads and put a flat number on them, or.
Yeah, that's,
Do you
I'm
want to
trying to
stick
get
with,
to that
do
here.
people want to stick with the 1,500? Is that?
Okay, last year we did whatever the increase was, I think it was 3% plus 1,500 for elected officials.
Not
Except-
council and commissioners.
Pardon me?
Not council and commissioners. We just did the flat 1,500 for
I
them.
was getting there.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you took
sorry.
a
So go
$70,000
ahead and say
salary
so.
and 3% would be 21. 15 is fine.
Yeah, I guess I was spacing the 3% plus 1,500. Should we just do 3% across the board and leave the 1,500 out of it? Or do we say no 3% on department heads and do the 1,500? I think it's too much to do both.
Oh, yeah, I
this
don't
year.
want to do both.
Well,
I was just
what
saying,
we were trying to do last year, we felt that the elected officials, the department
Behind.
heads were underpaid, and we needed to kind of get into a program of boosting that up. So we did that one year. So do we need to do that for a second year?
I think the 1,500 would be,
I could go with the 1,500 too.
considering the financial situation.
Flat, no 3%. 1,500 flat.
No 3%?
But no, I think 3% on the elected officials is
Well, go
fine.
ahead.
And council, and I don't know how the commissioners feel about that.
the mayor
But
gets done with
1,500 for them, that's what we did last year, but
Okay.
not do that extra amount this year.
Okay.
That's my
So the
suggestion.
proposal is that we do 3% for everyone, including elected officials, department heads, elected officials. For the part-time elected officials, a straight 1,500.
Yes, yeah.
Does that sound good?
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Repeat that?
She's just saying 3% for everyone except council and commissioners. That includes elected department heads and non-elected department heads. There's no flat dollar amount
Yeah,
separate
because
from
that's
that, just
normally what we do.
3%.
Yeah, that's normally what we do.
Now, something that came up in the past, so I think we should just firm up our intent now, is some department heads tried to give away part of their 3% to their employees instead of retaining it for themselves. And we actually said you can't do that because we don't want a department head out of generosity to get that department head salary too low and we have to replace them. Are we sticking with that the department head has to keep their 3% and they have discretion on the rest of the office?
We can make that in our budget instructions, but I would also, if you would be so kind as to add, or you may want to add, that you can't take any of the 3% from your employees to give
Right.
to yourself either. 'Cause
Correct.
we did see that last year.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I thought that was given.
We had somebody, we had to correct
We
somebody.
actually saw that more than
That's
somebody trying
why.
to give it away.
Let's, I like that
All of that.
because that takes the pressure off the department head, that theirs is negotiable. It's just theirs is a flat percentage. And then if you guys want to keep discretion with the department head, I've always been open on not even giving department heads discretion on how to allocate their 3%. But I know that here people have said they like giving the department head the discretion on, are we sticking with that?
There are departments, I think, that need to shore up some positions versus others, and throughout the last few years, they've been trying to hit this position and then that position, so I think that allowing them that flexibility is what we need to do.
I agree with
Okay.
Deborah. I think that works best.
So
'cause-
3% for everyone. Department heads are locked in at 3%. They cannot increase or decrease theirs. They have discretion over the rest of the employees. No new positions.
And do you
1,500
step
for
increases?
Part-time elected officials.
Yes, when you go from one classification to the next, or longevity of any
We're probably
kind.
going to need to loop Andrea in, and the department heads might have to reach out to her if there's a question, but I think that we're just doing that for, we're not giving raises. I don't think department heads are giving raises based off of those categories or those levels.
We're not doing that.
And the only
They
thing
need
that's
to
probably
have-
like
You
the
know what
sheriff
I'm
and his
saying?
matrix.
I
is the
do,
only-
and I've said from the beginning that I don't think, we made all these levels, but we have no process for making sure year to year as we give department heads discretion that people are Adjusting to
And
those
that's why we
levels?
have Andrea, and I think she should be engaged in
I'm leaving
this
it.
Yes.
conversation.
But we
Because-
have to get our instructions out
Correct.
immediately, because
Because some
otherwise we're gonna
step
be a month
increases
behind.
will be 100,000
Public hearing.
in total.
Got public hearing 10 o'clock.
We do.
Okay,
We'll circle back on the rest of those.
Mary, have you got,
I think we've come to a
auditor,
consensus.
do you have your directions?
We do have our directions. I would say, Crystal's got a meeting she's gotta get to, and we had her on at 9:30, just so you know.
Okay.
And we also have a public
we have a
hearing.
public hearing at
Well,
10.
We can get through the public hearing very
Yeah,
quickly.
there's only 4.
Yeah, public hearing. Don't we
Very
need to
quickly.
do that?
Yeah, let's do it really quickly, yeah.
Right.
We can do Chris.
Okay, Scott, you want to conduct the public
Yeah, I'll do
hearing?
We're going to call the 10 a.m. Public hearing. The first fund up is 1001, which is for, let me grab the paper, if I can grab the paper. County General, 200,000, Public Defender. I call the public hearing open. Anybody have anything to say? Anybody in the council? All right, I close the public hearing and wait for a motion.
Make a motion for $200,000 in county general to 1001.31.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right, next fund is 1122 in the amount of $50,000 as a project income for Community Corrections Case Manager. I open the public hearing. Any public comments? Not hearing anything from the council? All right, I close the public hearing, and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to appropriate $50,000 from general fund to project income 1122.
Second.
It's actually not general fund, it's
It's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
project income.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
1122.
read the wrong lines.
I still second it.
all right, with the correction, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right, Fund 1138, in the amount of $26,840. It is a cumulative capital development, IT department contractual software. I open the public hearing. Anybody have anything to say? Not hearing nothing from the public, anything from the council? All right, I close the public hearing and will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for cumulative capital development for $26,840, and the number is 1138,457 for IT contractual software.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, same sign. Motion carries. All right, Fund 7201, the last fund we have is $75,000 on food and beverage. It is for Board of Commissioners Attorney Legal Services. I open a public hearing. Anything from the public? Not hearing anything. All right, anything from the council? All right, I close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second for the Food and Beverage BOC Attorney Legal Services, amount of $75,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And that closes our public hearing
Crystal?
items.
I'm gonna.
Morning.
Morning.
So I'm not sure what you guys want to hear from me. I just got an email last week that said with the agenda. So I'm not sure.
I can chime in on that because I was running the budget meeting when this first came up. We know that your funding changed in recent years, right? Health first, and then it got cut, and other funds were going away, and et cetera. And you've had the capacity to help with a jail navigator, and I know that that became kind of a year-to-year basis once your funding got cut from Health First Indiana. We look at your balances every month and see that amongst your funds, you're sitting healthy, and just wanted an update on, you know, whether you could continue supporting navigators for another year and how your sustainability is looking.
So I turned it over to our board to, make the final decision on that. They did not have a quorum for their March meeting. They meet again next Tuesday. Those that were in attendance in March were strongly in favor of still supporting that position. But I
That's fine.
can't stand here and say, yes, we are a definite in. I agree. I don't know why we couldn't do it for 2026 at least, or for 2027. But I would like their
Of
backing
course.
on that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, you can wait for official word. And then we had approved when you got Health First Indiana, the addition of new positions. There was a maternal health nurse.
Yes.
There was a immunization related.
Chronic disease.
And then a food safety.
Food safety.
And I know at one point you hired one of those nurses and it didn't work out and you were on the fence about whether you guys would even refill that position. Can you update us on that?
So we, we have not refilled that position. I have posted it off and on throughout the time, just because I think if it stays on there, it kind of gets stale and people don't see it. And so I do every once in a while, I repost it. We have kind of shifted as posting it as a public health nurse rather than just specific maternal child, hoping to maybe draw somebody in and just have them cover the maternal child piece of that. Because I don't know if, because we're building that program, if that is what is, holding us back with finding some good candidates or what. But yeah, so that's kind of, it's still vacant, but I do post it every once in a while.
But you are trying to fill it. I know when
Yeah.
your funding got cut, it was kind
Yeah.
of like, do we want to even fill this position?
Yeah, we would still like to have that position. We are doing a lot of programming with it right now with our current staff, and it's stretching them. So we would like to have that position.
And it's just broadened the scope to more generalized than maternal specific.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the fact that all of you are willing to fund a jail navigator. That helps us quite a bit.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So if maybe you would come back to our next budget meeting and let us know.
Yeah, I
Thank
should,
you.
I mean, I could even probably send an email
Okay.
after our meeting on
Sure.
Tuesday, hopefully with a positive outcome
be
for you
great.
guys.
That'd be
So,
great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. That'd be wonderful.
all right. Anything else?
Crystal.
Yeah, thanks, Crystal.
All right, well, that was
Thank you
easy.
for coming
Okay.
in.
Thank you.
Sorry to keep you.
No, that's all right.
Brad, you had something?
Morning.
You should, I assume, have it in front of you a salary ordinance amendment. And let me explain this a little bit. So at the beginning of March, my jail commander retired. And she was a merit deputy. So that jail commander's position was inside the budget in the general fund. And so I didn't move another merit deputy into that spot. I just promoted the second person in charge to the jail commander position. Inside the jail lit correctional, there was no line item for that. And so basically what this is creating a line item and moving the funds within to support that position. So it's not an additional appropriation or anything like that. It's just moving the money, creating a line item to make it happen.
Okay.
And you didn't replace the person you moved up, correct?
I'm sorry?
You didn't replace the person you moved up, correct?
Yes, it's within. So I moved us, so she was a civilian jail officer. She went to jail commander. The one that went to jail commander, her position, I moved somebody up into that position from within the jail as well.
Okay, maybe I should have rephrased that. You didn't add a new position. This
I've
is
not added any new positions, no.
But is the position available or what?
No, no.
Move somebody up
Yeah.
into it.
Need somebody up. So
Okay.
there's no new
And not
hires.
replacing the bottom
Yeah.
person.
No, no.
Okay.
So I think we'll need a motion probably.
I'll make a motion to approve a transfer of $18,000 from the general fund.
No, 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 no.
No. This is an ordinance.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
just
salary.
It's an
amendment.
ordinance.
Salary ordinance.
There's no transferring of
There's no
anything.
transferring that needed to happen. I'm sorry.
What's the salary ordinance
So
number?
what's the number?
Salary ordinance number will be 2026-5A.
I'll make the motion then that we approve ordinance 2026-5A as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I thought you had to transfer, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Yes.
Greg? Fund 1189, alternates.
Here, I'm going to give you one and take it around. I spoke at the Recorders Conference 2 weeks ago here in Indianapolis. Amazing turnout, over 100 people. Good turnout. And probably. And so this is an example. I'm giving them Randolph County. You can grab a copy of it. But we will need a ordinance like this during the budget process for Fund 1189 once we get Marcia's sworn statement. So it's important for us, and this is just an example. We got several other examples. Council needs to pass this to meet all the budget requirements this year.
So this will be done in July when we're doing the budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you're not doing it now. We just need someone to be the commander-in-chief of it. If you're going to give it to Scott, we want to start early. And, you know, or Mary may just hand us one, or Marcia may hand us one. But this is new, so I didn't want to hit you at the end.
We'll just have Marcia, since she's one that do it, we'll have Marcia do it.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is an example.
Okay, and so, and then Scott can review. Okay, but it's basically saying you're agreeing with the sworn statement that the recorder's given you, and obviously they're going to follow the letter of the law, which we talked about at the, I spoke about the recorders. They're going to really, you know, keep an eye on the perpetuation fund. So if you thought the perpetuation fund could be used for other things, no.
And if I could interject, it's not a new requirement. It's been a requirement for council to create the ordinance. And we just kind of went with, because you accepted the salary ordinance, when you accepted my sworn statement, we thought that would be sufficient. And we got clarification from State Board of Accounts that they prefer to see a separate ordinance, which is why, even though it's been a requirement to always have the ordinance, we were assuming that the salary ordinance, because you're adopting and accepting it with our salary in it, that was, you know, and they said they'd prefer to see a separate actual. So I'll create the ordinance.
And then we want it that way so the auditor doesn't get written up by saying, and that's what I spoke.
Is that an annual ordinance that is submitted with the affidavit, or is it just one ordinance for all affidavits?
Every year.
It's updated every year, and it'll just be the same. And like I said, we've kind of gone with the salary ordinance was accepted along with my sworn statement, so, or passed, and they just wanted clarification that it's better to have it as an actual separate ordinance.
Because I like this one because it even referred to the sworn statement attached. So obviously, that's why it would be updated every year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it has to be updated every year.
yeah. Don't want a write-up, an audit write-up. We're trying to avoid those at all costs because that affects your rating now.
Correct.
So.
Thanks.
Thank you. Greg, you can stay right there. We'll go right to the must.
Okay, so I sent the commissioners and I sent Scott, it should have went out yesterday, just a draft contract on putting together from Gloria. So remember, I have staff. It's just not me. And so this is so that we can begin the process. You know, it's technically one council member needs to meet with cities and towns throughout the county to begin the process to put together a report by October 1. Now, quite frankly, I have some councils that are saying, we don't know if we're even going to do it. I'm not sure I would advise that. I would advise at least you take, shots at it to try and come up with a unanimous decision on how you want lit to look in Hancock County. Now, obviously, we will have one unique feature in there, which is the libraries, because my assumption is we'd want to
keep them in the same way they are with their special purpose and, make sure that's done.
Greg,
So,
do we know yet whether that library lit is going to come under us, under our allocation, or whether it's going to be separate?
Separate. Well, the special purpose is out and out of yours. Now, whatever we need to do to make up for the additional.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Because it was under ours.
Is it true that, does all municipalities have to agree, and it's either all or nothing that we have this?
That's kind of what what they're alleging. My answer is you send AIM is saying, oh, you got to have unanimous. You got to be all unanimous, or basically don't send in a report. My answer is no. You need to send in a report no matter what. Okay, because because Monroe County Council said, if we can't be unanimous, we're just not going to do anything. Well, I don't think I would advise that. And after I talked to Mrs. Crosley, she said, yeah, that might make some sense, still putting one in. So I don't want you to make any decision now. I want you to, my suggestion is you go through the process and make the decision. Greg, as we go.
Who all in our county would be involved in that? Obviously Greenfield.
So it'd be Greenfield, Cumberland, Fortville, because they've been talking.
Supposed to be every municipality.
Shirley, Spring Lake, and Wilkinson.
Every incorporated municipality.
That's who they're invited. That's who they're currently. The Cumberland's trying to get everybody invited. I think they even had a secret meeting already. I've been told. It's not really secret. They told me.
Put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah. But anyways, they can't have a meeting with the Must Group because none of us were there. So the thing is, the only thing I want to point out is I've been going to a lot of these classes about it, is that the Must Group, every time I talk to an attorney, its requirement is one of us, is at least one of us, not one. So we can have three. If we have more than three, we obviously have to publicize it.
Right.
But we can have, so it doesn't have to just be one person.
You're saying you don't want to go by yourself, Scott?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not going to do this by myself. I'm taking either Keely or Jim with me.
I'm reading between the lines.
Remember, I even suggested early on the council as a whole, and then you brought up the fact that yes, it would be a public meeting. I don't know if that's bad or good. Yeah, you guys are the elected officials, guys.
Not the first one. I think three of us ought to go, and because there'll be so many people.
And I don't think I think you're actually going to host it.
Yeah, we have to host it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to lead it.
Who is the facilitator?
The council member. The council is.
And directs the
Remember,
discussion?
ultimately, lit unless you're over the 3,500 is the responsibility of the county council.
Let me ask you this, Greg, just at a high level.
Did you find it, guys?
I found it.
He's the only one that got it. Bill and I didn't receive.
Okay, yes. I sent it draft to you and to Scott, and I think I carbon copied Jim. So, it was a draft saying, let's talk about this after today, then we'll send it to, everybody. Commissioners have to sign.
So the commissioners are involved in it too?
Well, the commissioners signed the contract, but no, it's actually council.
That's what I was saying. That's what I heard the last time you were here. That's okay. But we have to sign it.
Yes.
Okay.
This is just to hire FSG to run the process.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all
because
that's about.
as you know, there's going to be various consultants also showing up for various
all the towns and cities.
With various interests.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we have to have Greg around.
Yes.
We'd like to have our representation, but Greg, in a nutshell, is there any way it comes out any other way than cities and towns are gonna want income tax that is in excess of what they receive today? There's basically no chance anyone's gonna come in and say, I don't want any income tax. And so
I'm going to say yes, keep going.
okay, and so then ultimately, by submitting a report, is this council saying we are in agreement with everything each city and town is proposing that they need? Are we endorsing that
I would
number?
think we're just saying we're
Yeah.
engaged.
So the answer is if it was unanimous support, yes, you would be saying that within the report. Okay, if not, you can write exceptions to the unanimous report,
We put whatever-
or you can say it's not a unanimous report. Okay,
Still submit your report even if you don't agree with it and just clarifying that you don't agree with all the asks.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So that's why you don't avoid the report altogether.
Right.
Because if you have to submit a report that you're saying you agree with, I think it's pie in the sky to think we're going to end up with something we.
Put yourself in the seat of a state legislator. No report says you're okay with where we're at. Okay, what we have bestowed on you, you're okay with. If you're not okay with that, then you should file a report. If you want to say, yes, you're okay with that, then you should file your report. Okay? Now, one thing that was significantly changed in the 1210, I believe, is that Greenfield now can, rather than have their 1.2, which they'll want something higher, but their 1.2 just charged in the city of Greenfield, their analysis may show that they want to go through, they want to use the entire county income. They now have that right under non-SB, under the updated SB1. Okay, so where did we just go in concept? We're almost back to where we're distributing lit now, but we're not using property tax levy, we're using rate, okay? But we're spreading it over the entire county. Did you hear that? They have that option.
Yes, but Greenfield's the only one, and it's because of size or county seat.
In Hancock County, that's your only one over 3,500, other than maybe, you know, if Cumberland gets big enough and they can have half of theirs. You with me on that? So there is that. So they gave them the expansion of. So for instance, let's take Hendricks County, Brownsburg, Plainfield, and Avon could spread it back over the entire county if they don't think their individual silos will bring in enough money.
How is that fair?
Not.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head all the way around. Why somebody in McCordsville would want their financials calculated.
Okay, fair. Let's define it in dollar terms. If they're 1.2 for a greenfield would bring in 10 million, but they need 20 million that they're already collecting, okay? Then the 1.2 would strap them, right? And so if by charging the 1.2 over broader, it funds what they need now, that's how it's economically fair, but may not be fair perception-wise. You with me?
Yeah.
But so it's a difference between money and your definition of fairness.
But Greg,
now, keep in mind, it's also done that way now, right? Greenfield does not levy its own tax. We levy a total income tax rate, and they get their share based upon property taxes.
But there is a pie here, right?
There will be a pie.
There is a pie, and it's how to split it up. It's not like if one entity needs more than they're getting, that you can expand the pie. The legislature is saying you've got a pie.
Gotta live in the
That's
pie.
right, just like now.
How do you want to split
Let's
it
see,
up?
ladies, help me out, but a normal pie is 11 inches in diameter, right, crossed? And so it's.
I can't remember, so that's me.
I think they're 9 inches, but
Yeah, I put mine on.
Share of that pie,
Got a big
Jim,
pie.
if you're Greenfield, you might say, my share of that pie is 1.5, 1.5%. Okay, but the pie of 2.9 did not grow over the 11-inch
Right.
pie.
And in fact, they've shrunk the pie over what it used to be.
Well, no, they made the pie bigger because they raised the max rate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so the
It
pie.
means the max.
But they've reduced the money that we can collect. So really, the pie has shrunk.
Our pie
I think.
has.
When you include property tax.
Yes. No. When you're looking at total.
So the first.
People will want their cherry pie and they will want the
Apples
ice cream
also.
on top.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So right, as far as next steps, okay, so we determine 1, 2, 3 people that'll spearhead must. And then is step one, those people sitting down with you and going into more detail? Is step one calling a meeting of all towns and cities?
Number 2.
Okay, and then you would determine the necessary agenda and content for that meeting, or us councilmen who've agreed to do that work are supposed to have a certain amount prepared, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so my perception is we would, you call the first meeting, get everybody's concerns, gripes, criticisms out, okay? You also then put up on the board what people are collecting now or need now, okay? And then everybody will say, but wait a minute, 10 million's not enough. We need 20 as we go forward. And so that's going to be one of those considerations about, does the pie need to be cut different ways? You with me? And so then it will be trying to consensus build on where everybody is. It's almost, I almost firmly believe we're going to end up really close to where we are. It's kind of starting, other than it won't be divided on property taxes. It'll be divided by population and the factors that are built in. And so that's what you have to start with and see if you can come to some consensus.
But it comes back to if everybody doesn't want to participate, then it's not going to happen.
Now, wait a minute, what was that question?
If all the municipalities don't come up with a rate and sign on and a consensus is determined, then nobody's going to be part of that.
No, that's not what I said. I said, you will put in your report, and you'll put in your report with unanimous, maybe, unanimous but exceptions. Or, if you can't come to something, I think the county council as supreme commander of lit still puts in a report, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Can force the
You want local
If
control.
they decide that they want to, like Greenfield decides they want to have their own lit, will that have to come out of the 2.9, or will that be additional tax for their people and them?
1.2 for them.
Well, their 1.2 comes out of the 2.9. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So yes, it would be part of the 2.9.
If they want
That's what I
above
figured.
that,
That,
then they would
Are
have
we
that.
going to send out in
I think
advance
it has to come out of the 2.9.
something for them to fill
That's
out
what it
before we
is
have
now.
this
They
meeting
take
about
that
what are you
out.
asking for? Because I think the idea of bringing all these people into an initial meeting and it just being a free open flow discussion and nobody has actually written down what they think they need or what they're asking
So
for.
yes, I think there might be, my suggestion is you put out a data request, of 4 or 5 items to bring.
Yeah.
So right now.
And or submit in
The question
advance.
is, are we going to hire FSG to run the show? I think we all agree, don't we, that we will? And then it'll be on the budget agenda next time for you to come in and say.
I've already
let's put this thing
forwarded the
together.
actual contract to Sarah.
Okay.
And so, and we will develop the initial data request with some, like I said, number one is what is your lit, and obviously it's even in your sustainability. You have exactly what Cumberland's getting from edit. You have exactly what they're getting from lit. All that information's in there for 2026. But, the huge challenge, there's no doubt about it, is remember the gymnastics Jim took me through, that if we had a 0.80 rate, we needed a 1.2, because how in the world will we ever get those capital projects done, right, Jim? Remember that? And I was pointing to you, and I said that we showed the 1.2 wasn't even enough.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But you're saying it did get done in the legislation that the library special lit is not absorbed in our 1.2, it's just under the max 2.9.
I think both of you would agree your .10 or .15 is separate, period.
Yeah, that needed to be.
That
done
part of
for
it.
sure. Okay.
Okay.
Counting on you.
No pressure.
Go.
Yeah.
So
May I beat my head on this wall early?
Yeah.
A little practice, yeah.
Anything else? No?
Nope, I don't think so. Is there, hesitate to ask for old business, but is there anything just really, really pressing? The only thing I had was senior services, participation by Greenfield. I haven't heard anything. And Gary.
I've addressed it with Mayor Titus, and they were instructed, I got with Gary, and he instructed them that they had to fill out the grant form for Greenfield. Greenfield does their budget in August.
Yep.
And I feel they're on board, but they have to go before the grants committee, just like we have ours, so.
Okay, 426?
426.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it'll start the end of the year, I think it is, isn't it? They don't just hand out money to them. It has to go through the grants committee.
Right. And Gary was informing senior last time.
He informed senior services, they had to fill that application out.
Oh, so they've never gone to the city yet?
I don't know. I never remembered them actually, they just always sent the paperwork in saying, we need this much money.
Right.
But this time, I don't know why it's such a big deal this time, simply because they've always been on the agenda for the budget, so.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for following up.
And I'll keep following up, I mean.
Okay.
Because that's something, I didn't know there was an issue with it, simply because while being on Greenfield for the last 10 years, I mean, or 10 years when I was there, they just always come in and got their grant.
Yeah.
Well, and something about that, I don't know if it's changed since I was there, because that's been 5 years ago, but we had put in place, my first year at Greenfield City Council, a limitation on, and rightfully so, what the max grant number a year could be. And at the time, it was like 25% of a certain income stream. And so if that's still in place.
It's still in place.
And they're competing now, the portion that we're trying to negotiate with the City for Senior Services is competing in an open grant process with other entities.
But they did a lot of cutting last year with their grants. A lot of it, in which it probably needed to be done. But I don't know that they changed the mechanism for how much was available.
Well, I think we ought to start looking at whether we want to continue senior services on our own. 'Cause I don't think, I really question whether Greenfield's going to step up. They haven't so far. Hopefully they do.
That's true, but they use it more than the county
Now,
does.
the
A lot.
city of Greenfield has 76% of the riders are Greenfield residents.
I know all that, but if they don't step up and
It used to
cough
be
up the
called
money.
rural transport. I mean, that was part of the acronym. And with Uber and all that, I mean, there are other ways to get around. And I don't know. Yeah, I think if it comes down to with the federal funding being cut, if Greenfield also doesn't pay a fair share, I think we really need to evaluate the cost of it and who it serves. And
I agree.
We pay the blunt of that.
Oh, we do.
I know. Yeah,
So-
that's my concern.
Yeah.
It's hundreds and hundreds
I think
of
there's a
thousands of
pattern
dollars
here
every year.
when it comes to dealing with. I think there's a pattern here with dealing with what the city of Greenfield's willing to pay or not willing to pay, and we end up having to pick up the slack. And well, there needs to be some kind of format established that we're all in agreement with where the services are being used to participate.
at any rate, we'll follow it.
Circle back.
Okay,
So
we
real
go.
quick, we want to make sure, since we're cash funding the new building out there, we want to make sure that when the commissioners signed a contract, that we got enough additional appropriation in that fund to cover that, and we're not going to get behind the 8 ball, because so
The update is we're building it now, right?
So we moved the construction trailer in today. I have equipment out there getting ready to start subgrade work, putting in some tile. And so, yeah, it's moving.
So,
And that's
1233?
pardon me?
5.5 appropriated.
Yes.
5.5 appropriated.
And did the commissioner sign any document higher than 5.5 in aggregate cost?
I've not signed anything as far as that, I mean,
No, not since we've signed the other contract, updated contract here recently, like a few months ago.
Okay, so we do not, at this point in time, need any further additional appropriations. We're staying within that budget, and just be aware of that.
okay.
Yes.
So, that's it.
Yes.
Brad,
Ready?
fly your drone.
I thought we were going to go outside. and
No,
watch it.
you're not. That's what
Because
Jim
it's over
said.
by, it's over
Did we
by,
already approve minutes?
Have not.
While he pulls that up, Scott, should we knock out minutes?
And then, council, Dusty was saying that he could switch the cameras around. Are you good with that so that the public could see it?
Yeah, so what we could do is we could turn off the auto attendant, which, zooms around all over the screen. And then I can turn the camera to this TV above me. And then the public would be able to see this presentation from home if you guys are
Yeah.
okay with that.
let's do that.
Motion on the minutes so that we get
Yeah,
that.
go ahead and do that, and then
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Second, oh, go ahead, give it to Keely.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Are we good? Okay. So I wanted to kind of just present to you today a demonstration of, I guess, what I call the future of public safety. And this is our first drone that we have in place in a station. You can see it, it's in the station, and it's on top of Mount Comfort Elementary School. So this is the first one of two. The second one will be going on the Amplified building, probably beginning of August. And so as we talk about, hey, not being able to hire deputies or hire new people, the future is we need to get eyes in the sky if we're not going to be able to do that. Not to say that we're not going to need to do deputies as this county grows, but this is going to be helpful for the future of getting to calls, because we were on a call the other day with the drone before the police cars got there on the interstate. Then they were able to see the crash before officers got there and be able to direct them in prior to arrival. And so, there's a need, and this is a future throughout the country on what this can do. And so I'll just do a demonstration of what it looks like. And so our dispatchers are able to fly it from dispatch. I'm going to fly it today from right here.
Brad, is this then you're going to have two of these?
I'm going to have two of these. Yeah, this is the first one. The second one is the one that's going on Amplified.
Okay.
Currently. Now, I have locations for other ones, and that's something we'll, obviously have to just discuss. So you can just see the garage door just opened. It got brighter. You can see the sky. And I'm just going to tell it to fly.
Mark's house.
Are you controlling?
Can you check and see if we have any baby calves?
Let's see how good this really
You're doing
is.
the control right now? All
And
right, okay.
so we're going to take off, and we're going to go see the interstate. Now, there's some telemetry right now that we're still working on with dispatch, so when live 911 comes available or with the 911 integration, they'll be able to go right to the 911 call and be able to dispatch it to that address. And so right now, I've directed it to go to where I want it to go, and I'm really not even controlling it right at the moment. It's doing its own thing.
You mean it'll be like Google Map, you just put in an address and
Yes.
it'll go?
It'll go. Yep.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
How many people are trained to operate?
So I have, so all our pilots at the sheriff's office can do it, which is, there's 4 of the pilots there, plus there's 4 control officers or dispatchers that are pilots right now. Hopefully to get more.
And Sheriff Burkhart, obviously.
Where's it going?
So right now, we're just running, we're just gonna go to the interstate there, and you can see, it's headed that direction, to 6 West and 70. So this one here has a 2-mile radius, so I can fly out 2 miles and then fly back.
How fast does it fly?
So right now, we're running 24.5 miles per hour at an elevation of 158 feet. And over to the side, you can see the flight data. So over the flight, it's telling me aircraft that's within a certain area, so I know those flights as well. Tells me weather, tells me the speed, wind up there, so it's 9 miles per hour on wind speed. You really don't want to fly anything that's over 25 miles per hour. It gets a little shaky. So like I said, they used it a couple of days ago on the interstate for a crash. There was a call out there before that, a few weeks ago, a month ago, on there was some furniture that was in the roadway. And so they were able to actually go out, fly, find the furniture, see that it wasn't in the roadway, and that way the officer, the deputy, didn't have to respond. So it saves time from going to that location by the deputy being able to do that. And so right now we're sitting at the interstate. But I'm getting ready. I'm turning it with my keyboard.
Now we can see how much has been built at the hotel.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about.
Yep. And so, well, if you want, let's just.
Flashing light over there.
Oh, the gas prices. You can check the gas prices too.
See those.
No, you don't.
It's flickering. It's like it's changing every 30 seconds.
Okay. Price of oil's down 6% today. Price of
We
oil's
have a
down
finder
6%.
fee if one of our really nice residents shoots it down.
Oh, gosh.
Well, would not be good.
But we have a finder fee.
A finer fee for it? No, we don't have anything established for anything like that. Don't know. I did never. It would fall under a criminal act, and so we would have to establish it through that if that would happen. And there's also FAA.
Is there something that identifies the drone, that it's for the sheriff's department or whatever?
Well, I mean, it's
that you can
obviously
see?
marked. It's got red lights and things like that, so we know. I mean, it's got to be registered. It's registered and everything like that.
Does it have a siren?
Siren.
Does it really?
Brad, does it have a gun?
It is not armed in any way.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Oh, boy.
You can, and it does have the ability, so if I get to a scene or whatever, it has the capability of calling, so I can call it, and it can communicate with anybody on the ground.
Does it talk to you?
Yes, you can talk back on it, yes.
Yellow.
I can't right now. Pull him over with the
Can't
drone.
stop within 2 miles of that.
Here's your new building we were talking about earlier.
Isn't that crazy how
There it is.
far it's coming?
That's in that center.
There's the building.
There's the building.
Looks just like the one in Noblesville.
Yeah.
And so let's see, we can point in, and then we can zoom in on what's going on.
Oh, he's not working. Don't.
Yeah.
Call his boss.
They're on the phone.
He's on his phone.
Looks like a state job.
Very good
Eating lunch.
ability. We're able to use it for surveillance, and, all types of different things. So it is an awesome
Fly
tool.
around a house and look in windows if you wanted to.
We try not to, unless there's
No, if there's an armed situation. If there's an armed
They know
situation.
we're trying to, you can get that close.
yes,
zero
but we
in.
also have interior drones that we fly in the house.
Yeah, he has different types of.
I'm not a window
different
keeper guy,
technology.
so no.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean,
Even
there's,
absolutely not.
and that's the thing, public needs to understand that that's not what we're doing. We're using it for public safety purposes. We're not searching things that we don't need to.
It's something to assist the officers, right?
It is. It's and fire.
Win-win.
One of the first things we went to, they had that fire over at those apartments off 7 West. We were able to utilize that on the fire and show the fire apparatus being there at that scene at that time. Like the tower there, it's geo fenced off, so it would, obviously we're not running into the tower. Let's see, let's go over to.
So if an officer comes on the scene, can he then control it?
Yeah, so if you have a pilot on the scene that has a hand control, he can take over the controls. At any point in time, somebody else can take control over this from me. Once they log in, say dispatch logs in, they can go down at the bottom and say, basically take over as a pilot, and so they'll actually assume control of it.
Does it show you the battery life?
Yeah, so right now we have 82% battery life. And so it also knows if it gets down to a sort of certain point and we're a certain distance away, it knows that, hey, I need this much battery to get back. And so it'll basically just say, hey, I'm going back on its own.
Interesting.
Anybody want to see what Carvana looks like in all their cars? That's what Carvana looks like.
It's huge.
In here.
The cost of this one was?
A lot.
So this is annual 80,000. That includes the station and the drone, but it also includes at new versions of a drone. So when the new one comes out, which there's a new one getting ready to come out soon for this version, we'll get the update for that.
With a lot of technologies, the longer they've been around, the cheaper they get. So hopefully they become more affordable in the years to come.
And so what's nice about this, and this is why I invested in this one, is because this is an American made. In January, the president signed a executive order for any DJI drones, which are made in China, that they can no longer be utilized. So anybody that's got a DJI will not be able to get any new parts or get any new drones. So we won't have that problem. So this is 6 West and 3 North, the roundabout. See how I have a lot of traffic?
Out there with all that land.
Yeah, if you're ever up in a plane.
The new gas station on the corner as well.
FBP.
And so I'm still at 74%, but you know, here we are, don't have really anything else to see. So I'm just going to say we're going to go home and it'll fly back itself and it'll land.
So if an actual
Planning.
Okay.
film,
Yep. And so they're equipped with parachutes. And so if for whatever reason there's some sort of malfunction, which I don't see that, it'll actually parachute out of the sky down safely.
Brad, how high do these typically fly?
So if I'm flying a drone outside, the ceiling is 400 foot. That's high as you can. You can go farther, but you have to have permissions to go farther than that.
Yeah,
Generally,
there's
it's
a lot of rules.
so you can see in the top right up there, you can see the drone station where it will land. The bottom screen, the bottom one there is the sky, and you'll see it coming down. The camera position is going to change here in a second, and it's going to point down towards the station. So there is a newer version out that just came out. I went to Seattle beginning of the month of last April. It was in April, beginning of the month, for their new grand opening or showing of this new one. It'll actually fly up to, I think, 6 miles at a speed of 60 miles an hour. Wow. And so that would be some technology to look at as we look, hopefully, into the future, different locations throughout the county. One of the next locations I would like to see would be at the fire station off 5 West, south of 40, because if you have a 6-mile travel, you can basically cover the entire Pennsy Trail up and down for security purposes and reasons for that. And so then I would come in and I would just document what we did today. And so today we just did a training flight.
Brad, it says weather permitting on the drone demonstrations. I was like, Mary, I thought we were going outside.
Yeah. Whether I can fly it or
Weather
not.
for
Yes.
him, not for
So,
us.
yeah, so does the weather, how much does the weather affect it?
Yeah, so rain, light rain's okay. You don't want to be like yesterday, you can't fly. And there again, the wind is mostly The problem, anything over 25, you don't want to fly. Winter doesn't matter. I mean, cold's fine. But
And heat, is it okay with the heat? You know, if we'd
I'm
have
sorry?
some- Is it okay with heat if we'd have some really hot days?
yes, so this unit, the station, is actually climate controlled, so it's air conditioned and heated, so that's ready and keeps it secure. So, but I just thought, I think it's good for you guys to see. I mean, just because of the funding mechanism and understanding, the purpose of it and the reason why we have it and the benefit that we're going to see in the future as things continue to grow and, we get others that maybe have a farther traveling radius and a faster speed. But if you can get, a drone on the scene first, and maybe that stops maybe having to send an officer, or maybe it helps save a life of an officer or fireman or whatever if you can get eyes on first. If I go to a scene, I see somebody's at a house and he's standing outside with a weapon, and I may have, that's information that I can get back or dispatch can give back, to the officers arriving, responding, so they don't get themselves injured. So, but they're so now he's drone's parked and it's recharging for the next mission. The new version of it, its station actually has a battery changing device in it.
Oh, wow.
And it'll change device and you can go back up. This one here, you have to wait a few minutes for it to charge. It'll only take about less than 10 minutes to get back up to 100%, and you could take it off again. So.
When does a human have to go up there?
Every so often we go up there and, change out a battery just to reboot it and everything, but I can do a lot of it from the screen here. Actually, I sent a guy up this morning to go up there and just confirm some things and reboot some stuff, and so, not very often, yeah. And we have access to the school to get in and go up there anytime we need to.
Cool.
You guys, you seen it, your second time seeing it?
Yeah,
And I'm
it's cool.
actually-
It makes me want to go home and get the one I've got and get it set up.
Yeah.
I've had it for 6 months, and I've not set it up
Set it
yet.
up yet, yeah.
You have an $80,000 drone?
No, mine's a little small one, but it can go up to a mile, I think a mile away from you.
Yeah, they will.
To the sheriff's department.
You can go check for.
And so I'm actually coming to RDC meeting as well. I'm gonna show up to everybody there next week.
Yeah.
So, that's all I got. Thank you.
They did, I mean,
Thanks, Brad.
I come back in after not knowing, I want everybody, hey, you guys.
Is there anything on the auditor's business?
I only have 10 things. Oh, zero.
Nobody else paid attention.
I know, it would have been funny if somebody would pay attention.
I know.
We were.
We were.
0 things.
I think we're done.
Clark.
I'll make a motion.
We're done.
That we
All right.
adjourn.
We're adjourned.
We're adjourned.
Oh, well, I missed it. So I guess I need to vote on it.
Another one to vote?
Have a great day.
Thrilled by it.